What's up, guys, and welcome back to Rising Thrills, your number one source for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland roller coaster content. Let's get right into the video. And welcome to Rising News, which, if you're new here, every time there's about 3 or 4 new news headlines in the amusement industry, I will make a new episode of Rising News. So if you're not already subscribed to Rising Thrills, why don't you go down and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episode of Rising News. So jumping right into the first headline, which is Big Bad Wolf, the successor to Big Bad Wolf that I talked about in a previous episode. The name for it has finally been announced. The name for it is Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge, which I think it's an okay name for it, but I definitely think there are names that would have been better for it, such as, just The Wolf's Revenge or Big Bad Wolf's Revenge. Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge. That's kind of like a double, you're saying the same thing multiple times. So, it is what it is. I think it's an okay name, and the coaster looks like it's going to be a great coaster. And in terms of, people that have been going to the park for a long time, back when Big Bad Wolf was still open, and people that have been going there since then, I think they're going to think this is great, basically, to remind them of memories they had back years ago on Big Bad Wolf. I think this is a great addition, and overall it looks like a great coaster, and it's good to see that B&M is coming out with newer coaster models, and more parks are opening more unique coaster models. So yeah, this looks like a great coaster, and moving on to the next headline. Okay, the next headline, it's not really a news story, it's more of a rumor, but I still wanted to cover it because it really is a major headline in the amusement industry, even though it's not really a true headline, it's more of a rumor. But let's just dive right into it. It's that at Six Flags Great Adventure, 2 of their green roller coasters that are right next to each other are rumored to be removed at the end of the season. This is really interesting that, honestly, it's surprising that this hasn't happened before, the removal of these rides, because, Green Lantern, it's an old ride, it's, not the most comfortable ride, it's really not anybody's favorite ride at the park, and I'm sure it's not, bringing in a ton of money. It's not open all the time, not a lot of people go on it. There are long lines for it every once in a while for Green Lantern, but it's not the most popular ride, and it's an old ride, and these type of rides have been phasing out recently, and I would not be surprised if Green Lantern closes at the end of the season, or even if it doesn't close at the end of the season, if it closes soon, because this ride model has been phasing out over the recent years, so I would not be surprised if this ride was removed. Of course, this is just a rumor, and it's not actual news, but however, I wouldn't be surprised if Green Lantern, is shut down anytime soon, or even at the end of the year. And the thing is, with both of these rides, not many people know whether or not these rides are closing down. Even people within the park, they don't know when these rides will be closing this season, because these rides tend to close before holiday in the park. But the people at the park in operations don't even know whether these rides are going to be shut down at the end of the season, whether they're going to operate till the end of the season, when they're going to close. They don't know. Operations at the park, and this really is probably a decision at the top of the Six Flags chain, a very quick decision, just at the snap of a finger, they're like, oh, we need to close this ride down. But overall, it probably has been a thing that corporate has probably been planning out for a long time. Both of these rides, I'm sure for a while they've been planning to shut these rides down, and it's been a plan. They're like, when are we going to shut these rides down? How much longer do we want to operate them? And, in terms of, does this ride need a lot of maintenance or not? So when are we going to shut it down? Maybe when something breaks down on the ride or whatever. When are we going to shut it down? higher ups are probably, planning this for a while, and especially other rides like this have been shutting down, across the, world. Rides like these shut down, and, because they're not really that reliable. Moving on to the next ride, like I said earlier, is King of the Ka. It's been rumored to be closing at the end of the season for a little bit now, and, it's not surprising, especially seeing what Cedar Fair did with Top Thrill Dragster. They shut it down and turned it into Top Thrill 2, but they're probably not going to do anything like that. If they do shut down King of the Ka, they're not really going to do anything like that because of what happened with Top Thrill 2. That's just my opinion. I don't see them wanting to do that. I don't think they're going to do that because, honestly, it'd probably be too similar to Top Thrill 2. They're like, these aren't that far apart from each other, so we're just going to close it down. That's what I think they're going to do. And like I said earlier, they're just waiting to see when they want to close it down. That's corporate. If the ride breaks down sometime, if it's giving them a lot of trouble, which I don't necessarily think that it's giving them a lot of trouble. But however, these are just rides that aren't the most reliable, and they're definitely tricky rides. And one thing that may have to do with why they want to shut these rides down, especially with King of the Ka, is King of the Ka's record has been beat multiple times. Being the fastest ride in the world, it's about to be beat 2 times so far. It's going to be like the 3rd fastest coaster in the world. And then in terms of the height record, it's going to be beat once the Exa coaster opens at Six Flags Qiddiya. So really overall, it would not surprise me whatsoever if both of these rides shut down. Do I think both of these are going to shut down at the end of the season? Probably not. And our final headline for this video is Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion, which is arguably one of the best coasters in the United States, one of the most intense coasters, a great coaster overall. I haven't been on it, but it seems like a really good coaster. So they already rethemed it to Project 305 from Intimidator 305, which a lot of people were speculating that was just a placeholder name, and they were gonna, later go in and retheme it to something that more fits the Jungle Expedition part of the park. A name that fits that area, name and theme that fits that section of the park, which is definitely interesting. Soon, the Jungle Expedition part of the park is going to get so big that it's going to be like half of the park. So what I am hoping is after they've finalized all the rides in Jungle Expedition, hopefully they go to another section of the park that's older and, isn't really that well themed, and then retheme that section of the park and basically revitalize it and retheme the rides in that area. Hopefully after they're done doing this to Jungle Expedition, they'll go to another section of the park and do something like that. But they're going to be renaming it to Pantherion, which another jungle animal, which is the same theme as all of the other rides in Jungle Expedition. So really, the only ride that they have left to retheme is Flight of Fear, which they do have some options to what they could retheme it to. Some, sort of jungle animal or something, or, trying to escape the jungle. Something like that would probably be the best option for this, for Flight of Fear. So, we'll see what they do with that, but, Pantherion, definitely an interesting name, and I'm excited to see how this ride turns out. It looks like it'll be a good ride. But that's all for this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.